Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah Common Council meeting for Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. The clerk will call the roll. Please register your presence on your roll call device.
Alderman Boyette.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Hillstrom.
Here.
Lundrum.
Here.
Steiner.
Here.
Stevenson will be late.
Stevenson has arrived.
Skirms.
Present.
Weber.
Here.
And Borchard.
Here.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Alderman Skirms.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic,
Before we get started on the agenda, I would just like to read the proclamation for National Police Week. I gave this to the police department yesterday and just wanted to share it with council. Whereas we recognize and honor the selfless and heroic service provided by the men and women of the Neenah Police Department, and whereas we rely on law enforcement officers and community service aides to keep our neighborhoods safe, enforce our laws, and respond in times of crisis, and whereas everyday law enforcement officers throughout the nation face the threat of violence and danger, routinely putting their lives in jeopardy to defend others, putting themselves at risk of injury, disability, or even death, and whereas the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial reported 224 officers were killed in the line of duty in 2022, may we honor, respect, and never forget their sacrifice. And whereas the Neenah Police Department has made and continues to make important changes in policy, policing, and transparency, including the enhancement of services with professional development opportunities, leadership training, community outreach, bias-based training, use of force investigations, crime analysis, community policing initiatives, accredited through the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Accreditation Group. And whereas these men and women, by their distinctive service and dedicated efforts as law enforcement officers and community service aides, have earned our highest respect and deepest gratitude, now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and City Council of the City of Neenah further call upon all citizens to observe May 14th to May 20th, 2023 as National Police Week, and to join in commemorating law enforcement officers past and present who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities and their invaluable contributions in upholding justice, enforcing the rule of law, and protecting the innocent, have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. Signed and sealed the 14th day of May, 2023. The first item on the agenda then is introduction and confirmation of mayor's appointments. Those appointments are the reappointment of Amy Van Straten and John Yoke to the Joint Review Board for a term to expire April 2024. The reappointment of Mike Falks to the Joint Review Board for a 3-year term expiring April 2026. Reappointment of Patricia Rickman, Carol Codner, Michael Kohler, and Jennifer McMahon to the Library Board for a 3-year term to expire May 2026. The reappointment of Carol Codner to the Library Board Finance and Personnel Committee for a 3-year term expiring April 2026, and the appointment of Peter Allen to the Board of Appeals for a 2-year term to expire January 2025. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of those appointments? Seeing no objection, those appointments are confirmed. Is there any objection? Next item on the agenda, approval of the council proceedings. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of the approval of the council proceedings of May 3rd, 2023 regular session? Seeing no objection, those minutes and proceedings are approved. The next item on the agenda is the public forum. This is the opportunity for anyone in the community to speak on any topic they would like to. 5 minutes to speak on any topic that they would like to bring before the council. Is there anyone here who would like to speak during the public forum?
Hi, Tamara Haas, 301 East Wisconsin Avenue, Neenah. I've been thinking about what to say about this for a long time, so be patient with me. I may not get it out exactly right. I think that, if we look at the news, whether it's the television news or the news on our phone, on Facebook, or the print, or whatever source of news that you get in conversation with your friends, right now, our world is in a pretty grim place. The interactions that we seem to have with one another are met with a lot more anger, anxiety, hatred, if you will. And there are fewer positive interactions and less conversation. And over the last months, years here in Neenah, I've seen a lot of the same. There are and have been some great experiences for me personally and friends and family that I know with certain members of the council, employees within the city, and the surrounding area. But the number of interactions that are negative, inflammatory, anger-inspiring have increased. And I would like to encourage and ask and plead with you all that when you have your interactions with the public, we're the ones that elected you, we're the ones that voted for you, we're the ones that support you, and we're the ones that ask you to work for us. That you remember us and all of us, and the way you talk to us, and the way that you treat us, and the way that you set the example and inspire our community. And that with your policies and your procedures, take a look at how those are enacted and how those are enforced. What is the average citizen in Neenah going to experience from what you're setting forth? Is it going to be a financial devastation for a poor family that can't deal with the codes that you're changing or the policies that you're changing? Is it going to be, difficult for a family who is wealthy just because of the challenges? And is it necessary to do? Or are we just making up stuff just for the sake of doing it? I know it's hard, myself included, to sometimes think outside the box and to think about my interactions and my response. But I would ask you, as the leaders of our community, to take that time, take that extra moment, and think about how and what you're doing and who it affects, and what their experiences are going to be as you go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during the public forum? Seeing no one, I will close the public forum. Are there any comments anyone would like to make in consideration of anything that was said during the public forum? Alderman Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank you for stepping up, and I know sometimes it's hard to public speak, but I can relate to much of what you said, and I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate that, and I will do what I can to do better, and I hope that my colleagues will do the same, and thank you. Sometimes we need a checkup. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Seeing no one, I'll move on to item number 6. The consent agenda. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of passage of the consent agenda as it is written in our council agenda? Seeing no objections, the consent agenda is passed. The next item on the agenda is reports of standing committees, regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of May 9th. Chairman Lendrum.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of May 9th, 2023. Minutes can be found on the city website. We only have one action item tonight. So committee recommends council approve an amendment to the 2023 capital improvement budget in the amount of $543,600 for additional street resurfacing on Hunt Avenue, Harrison to Cecil, Fairwood Drive, West Terminus to Harrison, Brookwood Drive, Hunt to Fairwood, and Oak Ridge Road, Teller to the concrete pavement, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lendrum, seconded by Alderman Borchert. Is there any discussion on this item? Alderman Lendrum.
I was just going to remind everyone that this requires a 2/3 vote because this is a budget amendment and Director Kaiser is here to answer any questions.
Alderman Boyette.
So, Director Kaiser, why are we changing the budget, and what is this for exactly, and why is it coming to us now?
All right. Let's answer the last one first. We have bid out our last street construction project. That's coming up later on the agenda in contract 723. In compiling the contract amounts for the various items covered under the public infrastructure budget, which is primarily street work, we have right around $1 million budgeted more than we need for construction this year. With that, and given some of the conditions of the streets that we've been dealing with, I discussed with my staff and then brought the request to committee to allow us to do resurfacing projects on 3 streets. And I essentially looked at streets that did not require any utility work because we really don't have the time frame to get that in this year, and the design work takes more time. And also streets that would not involve any special assessments. In looking through the submittal that I provided to the mayor for the capital budget, for the 5-year budget, there was a group of streets that stood out that way. Of that group of 6 streets, I have requested to do 4 from that list. This gives us the ability to get those 4 streets taken care of, and also provides us with cushion if we were to encounter something not currently foreseen on the projects that we have bid to this point.
And one last question, financial, where is the money coming from? You said it's left over, so it's in what account? And
all of this is from the public infrastructure budget, so it was all borrowed for earlier this year.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. There is no report from the regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting for May 8th. That meeting was canceled. So next item on the agenda, number 8, is the regular Plan Commission meeting of May 9th was canceled as well. So moving on to the Board of Public Works meeting of May 9th. Vice Chairman Hillstrom.
Thank you, Mayor, and we did meet.
Yes,
We have four
did.
informational items this evening and one council action item. Minutes can be found on the city website. First informational item is the board-approved pay request number 1, contract 1-23, sanitary sewer, water main, and street construction on Burr Avenue, Chestnut Street, Beekoff Street, and Loden Boulevard to Don E. Parker Excavating in the amount of $431,668.54. Item B, the board approved pay request number 1, contract 5-23, street construction, curb and gutter, sidewalks and apron installation in Arthur Platt, Cardinal Platt, Integrity Acres, first addition to Integrity Acres, and Liberty Heights subdivisions to MCC Incorporated in the amount of $118,891.55. Item C, the board approved pay request number 1, contract 6-23, sanitary and storm sewer, water main and street construction on Columbian Avenue to Donald Hippus and Sons Incorporated in the amount of $316,822.32. The last informational item, item D, board approved pay request number 4, Arrowhead Park Phase 2B, Pier to Lunda Construction Company, Black River Falls, Wisconsin, in the amount of $50,527.65 for work completed through April 30th, 2023, utilizing approved budgeted 2021 CIP carry forward of funds. Now for the council action item. The board recommends council award contract 7-23, sanitary and storm sewer, water main, and street construction on High Street and River Street to Carl Bowers and Sons Construction in the amount of $442,925, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Hillstrom to award contract 723, seconded by Council President Borchert. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you for your report. The next item on the agenda is reports on the neighborhood groups, the Business Improvement District Board, Alderman Skirms.
Thank you. Oh, my mic's working. That's good. Reporting out on the Central City Business Improvement District Board meeting of yesterday, the 16th. Minutes are posted on the city website. The review by Baker Tilly was completed with no issues or concerns, which is good news. The spring fling last weekend was well attended despite some rain. All 35 of the flower beds, tree beds downtown were decorated, and those will be up till through June 10th if you want to go take a look at them. Some of them are pretty clever. The new Christmas decorations we ordered have arrived, so we'll be ready for next year. On Main Street, over by Plexus Building, you can see bench art there. The benches that came from extra benches by the bus stop were painted by different artists in the community, and those are on display on Main. Upcoming events, Farmers Market begins June 10th. Downtown Street Dance is June 14th. The next Maintenance District Walkthrough is June 20th. And Log Your Loops begins when, Lee? May 29th, that's right. We have 600 people registered already for Loop the Lake, and we'll have, probably, the estimate is we'll have 1,000.
Wow.
That ends my report.
Thank you for your report. The Library Board, Alderman Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor. The Neenah Public Library Board of Trustees met today at 4 p.m. Some highlights from the meeting are that carpeting has been installed on the second floor. It looks beautiful, and there have been some changes on the second floor with configurations. So I encourage you to visit the library and check out what's new up on the second floor. The library has been busy visiting the area elementary schools and talking to students about the summer reading program. And they have, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more schools to visit, but they are out promoting the summer reading program, which was a huge success last year, and I anticipate that will be equally successful. Also, there are a variety of programs available at the library for summer. I encourage you to visit the library's website to check out what's available, and also visit the library and check out some books. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Neenah Arts Council,
Thank you,
Alderman
Mayor.
Erickson.
The Neenah Arts Council met on Wednesday, May 17th. Many of the Neenah Arts Council members participated in the flower bed project downtown Neenah. So I encourage you to check out the one by Green's Poorhouse and Red Door Mercantile. Yours truly and my students at the YMCA art program decorated the pottery pieces in that one. And we are talking about the events that the Arts Council has talked about the events that we will be participating in this summer and coming up with ideas for that. So that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Report from the Landmarks Commission, Alderman Weber.
Thank you, Mayor. The Landmarks Commission met last Wednesday, May 10th. The minutes will be on the city website. We had some initial discussion on planning for the Wagon Tour event again. The money was set aside, committed for that, and we'll firm up the details in the next few meetings. And the bulk of the meeting was spent kind of as a working meeting around the history tour for the sesquicentennial walking event. The Landmarks Commission is participating and helping to get that all set up. So we spent a lot of time making sure we've got the information for the various homes and some of the planning activities. So, and I'd just like to give a little shout out to JC at the Doty Island Development Council too, because she's been very helpful to our team, providing some insights and learnings from their walk as well. So that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Are there any petitions?
No petition.
Thank you. Are there any council directives?
Mayor?
Alderman Skirms.
Thank you, Mayor. In 2017, the Wisconsin Act 243 repealed Section 62.23, parens 7D, 2MA of the state code, which required an extraordinary vote in the case of rezoning protest petitions. As a result, over the years, municipalities like Oshkosh, Appleton, and others have made changes to their ordinances. I think we should take a look at Act 243. Therefore, I move to direct community development with the assistance of City Attorney Rashid to review Neenah's City Ordinance 26-27, parens 7, which was adopted because of the state code, and make a recommendation on appropriate action, if any, by the end of next month.
Alderman Skirms has made a motion for a council directive. Is there a second to that?
Second.
There's a second to that?
Voted upon.
Thank you for that clarification. There's a motion and a second, so we will vote on that council directive at the next council meeting, according to the city attorney. Is there any unfinished business? New business, Arrowhead Park Development Status Report, Alderman Hillstrom.
Nothing new to report in the last meeting.
Thank you. Are there any announcements or questions that may legally come before the council? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. We're adjourned.
Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin, Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.